Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are pulling back the curtain on one of the most physically demanding and creatively complex forms of entertainment in the world.
Professional wrestling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we're not just talking about the matches you see on Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown.
No.
We are diving deep into the real events, the stuff happening outside the ring that absolutely dictate what you see on your screen.
That's so true. I mean, we watched these storylines unfold, the rivalries, the title changes, and you just assume they were written months in advance.
Right, like a TV show.
But our source material for today, which is a fascinating set of notes from Outside the Ring by Cricket Fox, it gives us a look at the actual gears grinding backstage.
And it reveals a business that is just constantly pivoting.
Constantly. All because of, human frailty on one hand, some very serious strategic calculation on the other.
So our mission today is pretty simple. We're extracting the surprising facts. We're talking real-life injuries, deeply strategic creative decisions, and the sometimes heartbreaking personal toll this business takes.
Yeah.
We want to show you, the listener, exactly how those real-life demands, a sudden trip to the hospital, a necessary personal break, are either seamlessly integrated or expertly hidden within wrestling's incredibly tight narrative structure.
And that's really where you see the sophistication of the booking process, right? It's not just about scripting a good win or a good loss.
Bro.
It's about managing a very, very fragile pool of human resources
Wow.
while somehow maintaining this illusion of spontaneous, high-stakes chaos.
Okay, let's unpack this. And where better to start than with the literal physical toll? The sources provide a pretty sobering look at what happens when the script just goes completely out the window.
Well, we can start with Stephanie Vaquer, or Steph.
Okay.
The visual evidence of the physical cost here is, it's immediate and you can't avoid it. She recently posted this really striking image of her ankle.
And what are we talking about here?
The source describes it as vibrant shades of purple and blue, and she's in a moon boot.
Oof. So that's a serious injury.
Yeah.
It's real time off.
Right. And what's fascinating here, connecting the real-life pain to the on-screen action, is that this injury wasn't just some unfortunate accident that creative had to awkwardly work around.
This is part of the story.
It was integrated. We learned that the aggressive attack by Raquel Rodriguez, the one viewer saw on screen, was actually a calculated move.
Ah, so they used the real injury to write her off TV.
Precisely. That on-screen beatdown was designed specifically to sideline her. It gave her the time she actually needed to heal, but it also protected her character and set up a huge return.
So they turned a medical necessity into story progression.
Exactly. And in this case, it's all aimed at getting her physically and mentally ready for the Royal Rumble.
That makes sense for a clean break, an acute injury with a timetable. But not all recoveries are that neat and tidy, right?
Not at all. And the sources also detail Bianca Belair's ongoing struggle with her finger injury.
Which she got way back in WrestleMania Fummy 1. This has been going on for a while.
A long while. And she's recovering much, much more slowly than anyone anticipated. The specifics are what really make it relatable, though.
It's not just that she can't wrestle at 100%.
No, it's that the joints in her fingers just aren't bending as they should. So it's causing this significant constant discomfort. It affects everything.
Now, this is where it gets really human. The source highlights her intense frustration with, everyday activities.
Yeah.
Imagine being one of the top athletes in the world, but your biggest hurdle that week is trying to thread a needle because you need to sew your own ring gear.
That detail, struggling to sew her gear, something so integral to her presentation, that really brings the cost home.
It's a constant nagging reminder.
For sure. It slows down her entire process and adds this huge emotional toll. You get a real insight into the mental grind that comes with the physical recovery.
And that relentless physical toll creates this chain reaction, right? Especially in the women's locker room.
A rapid one. It forces these immediate creative adjustments. When one person goes down, others have to absorb that workload.
Which, of course, drastically increases their risk of injury.
And we saw this cascade effect so vividly with Mitchen and BFAB. Mitchen is out with a pretty serious shoulder injury.
And she got that during a house show match, a non-televised event, with Jade Cargill.
Right. And then immediately after that, BFAB was brought in to fill Mitchen's spot.
Only to get concussed herself.
And now she's not medically cleared, so it's this compounding problem, and it's hitting one division really, really hard.
So what does that mean for the show we see every week?
It means the women's division on SmackDown has effectively stalled. The momentum is just broken. Key storylines are on hold because the people just aren't available.
And that stalled division demanded immediate action.
It did. And the quick debut and the move of Jordy and Grace to SmackDown was a direct response to that.
A creative scramble.
Totally. They had to grab a talent from NXT and just accelerate her timeline to plug the gaps. And we should also note the creative uncertainty around big names like Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton, who's still out.
So the booking team basically has to function like ER coordinators.
That's a great way to put it. Constantly triaging the roster, figuring out how to build a show with whoever is cleared at that exact moment.
It sounds exhausting. So, okay, if physics dictates the script for someone like Steph Vaquer, let's shift gears a bit.
Let's do it.
Let's look at how creative strategy dictates the script when a wrestler is perfectly healthy. We're moving from injuries to strategic resets.
This brings us to LA Knight. And the key piece of information here to stop fans from panicking is that he is absolutely not injured.
He was just written out of the show. A temporary planned break.
Yeah.
It's sort of the wrestler equivalent of a planned sabbatical, but with a very specific business goal.
Exactly. Sometimes creative just hits a wall with a character, you know?
Yeah.
Or the audience reaction starts to plateau.
And the best way to keep that character vital is to just take them off screen.
Let him reset. The break is intended to make sure he's healthy, and we should stress we mean creatively healthy and fresh.
Right. Not a hamstring issue.
No. The ultimate goal is to maximize that pop, that explosive audience reaction when he returns unexpectedly.
So it's all about engineering that massive reaction. It's about scarcity driving demand.
100%. If you see him every week, the excitement can wane a little. If you take him away, the hunger grows.
And again, the Royal Rumble is noted as the potential return window.
It's the perfect spot for it. This is the difference between writing for tomorrow's show and really playing the long game with the audience's anticipation.
That focus on managing a character's aura, as you called it, that's also central to the strategy around Obafemi.
Oh, absolutely. The decision coming out of backstage was very specific about how he should handle his title.
They had him vacate it.
Yes, he was made to vacate his belt instead of taking a loss in the ring. This is the definition of what they call a protective style of booking.
So why is vacating better than just losing a match? Maybe through some kind of interference.
Because they are investing so heavily in his future perception, specifically his journey to the main dance, which is, insider shorthand for the main roster.
So he avoids having a loss on his record.
Right. This strategy tells the audience and the rest of the locker room that creative values his future perception of invincibility over the temporary value of that title. It avoids the hurdle of having to explain why a future megastar lost cleanly.
That focus on long-term character investment feels like a huge shift from how this sport operated 10, 20 years ago.
It is. They are so focused on building these foundational stars that they will literally sacrifice a title run just to protect that perception of invincibility.
Wow.
They manage the value of a loss like an accountant manages capital. It's just as important as the wins.
Shifting gears one last time, let's talk about the biggest picture decisions, the high-level choices about titles, downtime, and potential farewell runs.
These are the choices that reveal the most about the personal cost of the business.
Let's turn to Cody Rhodes.
Okay, so the reports coming out of backstage here reveal a surprising level of personal agency.
It wasn't creative coming down with a dictate.
No, it was Cody himself. He was the one who pitched the idea that Drew McIntyre should take over the belt.
And this wasn't just a creative pivot, it was a profound personal one.
Completely. Cody's stated reasons were needing downtime to spend with his family and, as he put it, to just breathe.
After that incredibly intense climb back to the top, he needed a break.
The sources suggest he felt the personal cost was just too high at that moment to keep up that relentless schedule. He was essentially managing his own career and life.
While also saying that Drew was the right man for the job?
Exactly. That level of collaboration shows you how much trust and power the top-tier talent commands now.
But wait, if Cody has that much agency to just step away from the title picture, doesn't that sort of undermine the idea that the company is always in control of the narrative?
That's a great question, and I think it proves that the control is a bit more decentralized now, at least among the top stars.
So it's a risk-reward calculation for them.
For sure. When a star reaches Cody's level, the business recognizes that the health and sustainability of the performer is more valuable than maintaining an illusion of absolute authority. They trust him to come back with even more audience goodwill.
And speaking of returns and final acts, there's a lot of buzz around Chris Jericho.
A ton of buzz. A potential final WWE run before he hangs up his boots for good.
And the source of this buzz is traceable, right?
It is. It was started by Adam Pearce, a high-ranking producer who used that specific, iconic phrase, break down the walls.
That is a powerful Easter egg for longtime fans. Or a very deliberate leak.
It could be either. And what fuels this is his contract status. Reports suggest he's currently out of contract with his promotion, even though he's still on their website.
So that status, plus the official tease, creates this perfect storm of anticipation.
It really does. And just like with LA Knight, this high-stakes speculation is tied squarely to the Royal Rumble as the moment for Chris to potentially break the wall one last time.
So if we look at everything we just analyzed, we have real-world injuries driving chaotic storyline changes. We have strategic creative breaks driving audience anticipation.
Right.
And then we have these deep personal life choices driving major title shifts at the absolute top of the card.
What the sources really reveal is this complex, interwoven ecosystem. Physical recovery, calculated creative protection like Obafemi vacating his belt, and major life decisions, Cody needing family time, they all feed directly into the on-screen action.
Which means the moments that look the most unscripted
Are often the most strategically scripted, or at the very least, very creatively managed.
So what does this all mean for you as a viewer? The stories we just analyzed, from Bianca struggling with a needle to Cody stepping away for his family,
Yeah.
they show that the true power of a storyline often comes when the lines between real life and the ring just completely blur. The greatest drama isn't in the match results.
No, it's built from the genuine struggle and the calculating business decisions happening behind closed doors. Understanding the mechanics of that triage makes the viewing experience so much richer.
You start seeing the chess moves,
Instead of just the immediate action, yeah.
which raises an important question for you to think about. If strategic breaks, or planned injuries, or even strategic losses are used to build up a character's aura.
Like with Obafemi and LA Knight.
Exactly. If it's all to engineer a massive pop upon their return, does knowing the calculated nature of that comeback diminish your enjoyment?
Or does it simply add another fascinating layer of strategy and appreciation to the drama you're witnessing?
Something to keep in mind next time someone makes an unexpected return.